Sponge's money never done. Sponge's money, cigar makers on the Sponge's money. La guerra, la guerra, la guerra, la guerra, Sponge's money. I look at my feet and my shoes look new. Sponge's money. I look at my head and my hands look smooth. Sponge's money. La guerra, la guerra, la guerra, la guerra, Sponge's money. Here comes the gal with a red dress on, Sponge's money. Her name is high and she is long, Sponge's money. La guerra, la guerra, la guerra, la guerra, Sponge's money.
Say, I wonder how many bowls of conch chowder a man can eat.
Old Cap Brady went 17 bowls on April 13th, 1939. Too bad you haven't had time to go fishing this trip.
Yeah, I know. You see, my boss is allergic to fish. That is fishing on his time.
And I see the Billy, see? And then he says to me, one of the funniest things I ever heard.
Hey, does anyone here speak English?
The best of English, a matter of understanding it. What do you want?
Well, do you happen to know where Captain Lowe is?
Where's he supposed to be?
On the boat at 9 o'clock.
Well, to me, I'd look aboard the boat at 9 o'clock.
Bellamina, Bellamina, Bellamina's in the harbor. Bellamina, Bellamina, Bellamina's in the harbor. She's in the dry dock, she's in the dry dock, painting her bottom black. She's in the dry dock, she's in the dry dock, painting her bottom black.
This is ridiculous, Ram. I've got to be in Chicago by Wednesday.
Not while I'm driving your car. Now, don't be stubborn. The office can get along without you.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Oh, we'll be back tonight. Why, Leslie, it'd never forgive me if I let you get away without seeing her. Gee, will she be surprised. She's waiting down on the dock.
Hello. You been fishing around here long?
Ever since I was a kid. Pappy says I was born in a conch shell.
Is Captain Lowe your father?
Oh, no, ma'am, no. My pappy's a better fisherman than Captain Lowe. Only he ain't got no boat.
Well, I'm sure he will someday.
That's what I'm aiming at, ma'am.
Leslie, look what I've got.
Clay Foster, what in the world are you doing here?
According to your lord and master, I'm going fishing with you. Sort of a fifth wheel on your domestic wagon.
What do you think of the old scarecrow? He was just sneaking out of town when I caught him.
Yeah, I told him it was impossible, you see. So here I am. Did you ever hear of Ram taking no for an answer?
No.
That's how I got her. You weren't persistent enough.
Well, come along, Clay. How long are you going to be down?
Until yesterday. According to the Home Office, I am now speeding through North Carolina.
Oh, we'll be back tonight.
Now, we'd better be, or I'll have to stay right here.
And where the devil is that boatman?
You said 9 o'clock, didn't you?
Oh, there you are. This is Mr. Foster, an old friend of mine. He's going out with us.
Oh, he fished last year with Tammy Kilpatrick.
That's right. How is Tammy? He was a swell fishing guide.
Oh, he likes you, too. Said you don't know a fishing pole from your elbow.
Well, now that the amenities are over, let's get going. All right, Clay, my boy, you stay right here beside Leslie. I'll be all over the boat. Lowe, rig up another pole for me. I'll let Mr. Foster use this one.
Where do you want to go, Mr. Foster?
You better ask Mr. Ramsey. I'm a stowaway.
Anywhere where there's fish. You know, I have a peculiar feeling he doesn't like us.
Why, Ram, your intuition is positively uncanny.
That's a temporary reaction. A conch automatically doesn't like you for 7 years, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, he offers you a bowl of chowder.
Why are they called conchs?
Oh, they're from the conch shell. They were Tories during the American Revolution, fled to the Bahamas, and then drifted back here.
They talk like they got a mouthful of Yorkshire pudding. Do they marry and have babies?
Oh, repeatedly.
I thought maybe they sat on their cocks and hatched them out.
Ray.
Here, oh, Mr. Foster.
Thank you. You better get Ram to turn the sun off. You're going to get badly burned.
Good. I've always wanted to taste a fried blonde. What's the matter with you two? You used to chatter together like a couple of parakeets.
Now, we're in a strange cage. Where do we get used to each other again?
Give her more speed.
Oh, we're going fast enough. Do you want to catch a fish or chase it down like a rabbit?
I said more speed.
Oh, leave her alone. She's doing all right.
No, Ram, I can handle it.
Why didn't you cut your speed when we hooked the fish?
Don't worry, Ram. There'll be plenty more fish.
I want that one. Where's he likely to go?
Well, if he's got any sense, he's through the causeway by now.
Well, then we'll take after him. What's the matter with the boy? Is he afraid to go into the Keys?
Say, no one's afraid on this boat. Only some of us have got more sense than others.
There's plenty tough navigating in there, Ram. There are 10,000 islands, and the channel winds like a corkscrew.
Go through the causeway.
Vicky, take over.
Seems we are going through the Keys.
Yeah. Say, Ram, I've really got to get back and on my way early this evening. Unless you can use a bright lad in your law office.
Oh, we'll be back tonight, and with that fish.
On over, Vicky.
Take the wheel yourself. That's what you're being paid for.
Suppose you fish for a while, darling.
All right, dear. I'll give it a whirl.
This is your outfit, Ram. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Does anyone live on these islands, Captain?
No, ma'am, not on any of them, unless it's the devil. These Keys ain't fit to live on.
What are you circling around for?
Buffet.
Well, I want to go in farther.
Vicky, go for it and keep a sharp lookout.
We better come about, Cap. There ain't much water under us, and it's getting less every minute.
Look, somebody's been around here.
Oh, we can't get anything at this speed.
Oh, never bellyache about a horse or a boat and carry it fast as you can go yourself.
Follow the fish, you crazy fool! I said to follow him!
Ram, we can't possibly get in any closer. Let him go.
I said I'm gonna get that fish, and I'm gonna get him! Are you gonna go in there or not?
I am not.
get the fish?
No, thanks to you. You hit your blasted noggin on that corner there.
Well, there's no need for ill feeling in this situation. There we go.
Darling, there isn't any ill feeling here except your poor head.
Well, there's no great harm done. We've lost nothing but the fish and time.
And the propeller.
Must have knocked it off when we hit.
He knocked it off when he hit.
Well, you can put it back on again, can't you?
Yeah, we can find it.
Well, can't the kid dive?
Oh, it's no use in this muddy bottom. Let her wait till the tide goes out.
When will that be?
8:50. Tomorrow morning.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait. I'm sorry, Clay.
Oh, think nothing of it. I didn't like selling generators anyway. They sound like these mosquitoes.
Well, somebody must live on that island. Remember that can I saw floating in the water this morning?
What'd you do that for?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd see if I could blow it is all.
Well, what have we got to eat for supper?
The bait.
Did you hear that? A dog.
Oh, no, sir, that ain't a dog. That's just a crow that sounds like a dog.
Well, we'll soon find out.
Well, if I find the propeller, it'll take all of us to put it on.
If you find it, you blow your conch shell. Come on, darling. Let's have a look at this place.
What's the matter?
I guess I'm still a little wobbly on my pins. Clay, you better carry her ashore.
All right.
cultivated garden.
Who lives here?
I didn't know anyone lived here.
There's a house.
Hello? Hello? Get away from there. Go on, away. Hello? Three cots. That must mean 3 men. Only one razor. I suppose all of them could use it. How do you feel about it?
I feel it's none of our business and we should wait outside.
He's quite right.
Randy, all right. After all, this is trespassing. Anybody lives here, they have a perfect right to.
I don't know about that. Something very peculiar about this setup. You know how peculiarly that boy's been acting.
Ram, let's get out of here, huh?
You know, this could very easily be a kidnapper's hideout. Or a base for smuggling.
I still don't know what that's got to do with us. But would I be personally interested in something to eat and a cigarette?
Ram, you shouldn't go rummaging through somebody else's things.
Whoever lives here doesn't smoke. No ashtrays. They're short on food, too. That garden was almost stripped, and those shelves are nearly empty. By the way, have you got a cigarette?
Yeah, got one left.
We'll split it.
How do you do?
What's the matter, fella?
Oh, nothing. That is, I mean, it's something I can't tell.
Shake. I'm also a believer in the theory a man should be allowed to keep his inner thoughts to himself.
It's just something only me and my dad was supposed to know about. Not even Captain Lowe. Does he, the man what lives here, does he think it was me what brought you here?
Of course not. Mr. Ramsey explained that. Sure. Our problem now is to get home. I was not in such a hurry, but I've got a job to get back to. You suppose you and I could sail that potato chip out of here and send somebody back?
Oh, no, sir. When we go, the others are gotta go. Then we won't have to send nobody back.
The prevailing wind seems to be southeast. I bet I could tack that sailboat out of here.
Oh, no, you couldn't do it, sir. Well, you'd have to sail 50 miles crisscross to make 2 straight ahead. That is, even if you was to miss the sandbars.
It's a bit discouraging, isn't it?
I could dive a little more for the propeller, then we could all go together.
Oh! Oh, Ram, how can you stand it?
Well, I thought you liked needlework. When I married you, your mother told me you sewed a fine seam yourself.
Not very skillful surgery, but I think the stitches will hold the wound together.
Did you hear her scream, Clay?
Yes.
Anyone would think it was her head being sewed up.
Well, it was.
Well, there's a dutiful wife for you. In sickness or in health, in wealth or in poverty.
Say, that's nice hem stitching. You a surgeon?
Oh, not by profession. I followed the sea all my life. I find it useful for a master of a ship to know a little about rough surgery.
What ship was you on, Cap?
Oh, a number of them.
In these waters?
Yes, I've been in and out of Key West.
Oh, I thought I saw you someplace. What was your last ship, Cap?
The, Moveria,
I know that ship. When was that?
1938.
It can't be right. The Bavaria was broken up for junk in 1924.
Oh, yes. Perhaps you're right. I've lost all track of time down here.
I've seen you someplace, Captain Powell.
Well, in addition to its other drawbacks, my face bears a peculiar resemblance to a number of other faces.
And I won't rest until I remember where and under what circumstances.
Your interest is very flattering. There you are. I hope it'll heal very soon.
Well, all right, you two. Why aren't you out diving for that propeller? Clay, run along and keep an eye on them. You go along with Clay, darling. As you both know, I'm a man of insatiable curiosity, and I'm going to stay and bother our host with a few questions.
Don't tell her nothing, Doc.
Wiki! Come up here, you little mud turtle.
But we gotta find it, Cap.
You've dove enough already. I don't want the few brains you got left bursting through your ears.
Well, let me go down just once more.
I said no. I'm as anxious to get home as the rest. But one spinning little cop like you is worth a whole lot of them put together. Besides, I told your father I was going to look after you, didn't I?
Well, you folks have been gone a long time. Any luck with the propeller?
No, not yet. We're waiting for the rain to stop.
You know, I've just discovered we're in a very unique situation.
Yes, I know. Leslie and I were discussing it on the boat.
Only 20 miles from civilization, and we might just as well be crawling in the mud of the Eocene.
Well, my name will be Mud if I don't find some way to crawl back to Chicago. Say, how about my trying to make it in that catboat of yours, huh?
You may be able to sail out of the lagoon with luck, but if you do, you'll only hang up on another key and you'll be worse off than you are now. I'd wait. They may find the propeller soon or...
Or never. But, in the meantime, our host seems to have some food. So apparently the supply isn't very big.
Very little, I'm afraid, but to which you're very welcome. See, I counted on my garden. I'm practically a vegetarian. But that won't be ripe enough to eat for several weeks. So I've rationed myself rather closely. When you divide that by 6...
I can't tell you how sorry we are.
Oh, we'll make out somehow, but I just wanted you to realize that this food situation is really quite serious.
Oh, ridiculous. Isn't the lagoon full of fish?
Sometimes. Alligator gets in, you clean it out in one night.
Well, what about the Coast Guard? Don't they look for missing boats?
Well, not for several days. Lowe is known as a good sailor. So when they do start, they'll search the fishing grounds, the straits.
Yeah. Well, we were very careful to tell everybody we were going.
They'll never think of looking here in the Keys.
Why in the world did we come in here?
Why, it's a great adventure, Leslie. What more could a man ask than to be cast up on an island with a beautiful woman?
Oh, I can think of a lot of things. A steak smothered with mushrooms, a carton of cigarettes, or maybe a keg of beer, or...
Possibly an extra woman?
No, I wouldn't be interested.
Careful, Mr. Foster. I think Mr. Ramsey's a mind reader.
If I were, I'd be able to remember where I'd seen you before.
I'm sorry that bothers you so much. Shall we call it off until tomorrow?
Will you excuse me? I'm terribly tired.
Oh. Now, this is your bed, Mrs. Ramsey. I'll put up this screen after you're in. Mr. Ramsey may want to move it. Let the air circulate. Good night. We'll divide up the other places to sleep.
You won't find no propeller tonight unless you find it with your head.
I ain't diving for no propeller.
What then?
A big fat conch I saw today.
Then what are you waiting for? How come you didn't bring him up today when you saw him?
I don't like for them who don't understand us to see us eating raw conch. They go home and say we're heathens.
Are you ashamed of your pappy?
No, he's the greatest guy in the world.
Ashamed of your mammy?
What you getting at, Cap?
You ashamed of yourself?
Well, sometimes I am.
Not because you're a cook.
Oh, no, I'm proudly a cunt.
Oh, you'd better be. What are you ashamed of, then?
Well, sometimes I look at the Cuban girls down on Duval Street.
That won't do you no harm. Don't do you much good either. Pretty girls are made to be looked at. As soon as we get out of here, and right after I pass the time of day with my missus, I'm going right down there myself.
Oh, Cap, it ain't fitting that I know something you don't know. Something about the doc.
Something between you and your Peppy?
Yeah?
Did you give your hand on it not to tell?
Yes, I did.
Well, shut up about it, then. I got a conch riddle I bet you can't answer.
Yeah?
2 O's, 2 N's, an L and a D. Put them together and spell them to me.
They spell London.
Oh. You're a smart lad. Who taught you that, your Peppy?
My grandpappy.
Do you know the true story of Jack and the Beanstalk?
Uh-uh.
Then listen good. A conch fisherman climbs the stalk to heaven. The stalk withers and dies, and he's left stranded there. Just like you and I is here. Only he's in heaven. And the angels from the under heaven come to his rescue. Take off their robes, tie them together, make a rope so that he can go down to earth. He's told not to look. He does his best, but his best ain't good enough. So the angels make him climb down. But the rope ain't long enough. That's his punishment for peeking at the angels. But he's got to jump, so he does. And he lands head first into the sand right up to his waist. He wants to get out, but he can't. So what does he do? He goes to a nearby barn, gets the shovel, and digs himself out.
I've got it. You're Dr. Sanderson. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is the simple and sordid story of a public official who betrayed his trust for money and then ran away rather than face the consequences. Dr. Sanderson was the trusted physician of the state's prison. A young man was to be executed. An abject, sniveling coward, he lacked the courage to face the electric chair. I will prove to you that his family bribed Dr. Sanderson to give him an overdose of narcotics 5 minutes before he was to have begun the death march. Had this been all, Sanderson would not today be a fugitive from justice. But fate played a ghastly joke on him. As the condemned man, drugged into insensibility by Sanderson, was led from the death cell by the guards, a reprieve came from the governor. But the man died. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state accused Dr. Sanderson only of manslaughter. But I submit that it was murder. Murder not for mercy, murder for money. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what is your verdict?
He ain't guilty. You can't make him guilty.
There isn't a jury in the world would convict him.
Ram, please. This is the most brutal performance I've ever been forced to witness.
He'd go free for all of me.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And that will be the verdict when I defend you. The best preparation for a defense is to know how to prosecute.
Well, who's going to try Dr. Sanderson? No one knows where he is. The case is forgotten.
No case is ever closed as long as it remains in a man's mind. And I'll be doing Dr. Sanderson a great service by bringing it out into the open and closing it once and for all by his acquittal.
So you get the spotlight for yourself by using Dr. Sanderson as a legal guinea pig, eh?
I've been a party to this to satisfy Mr. Ramsey's curiosity. I only want to say one thing, and that is I never knew the source of the money that was sent to me, and it had nothing to do with my efforts to make the last 5 minutes of a condemned man's life easier.
But the fact remains you killed a man. You cheated the state out of that privilege.
I had no intention of killing him. My oath of Hippocrates requires that I alleviate suffering. The fear of death is acute suffering. I thought and acted as an ethical position according to my best judgment.
So you'll have to prove that. The state says that you accepted a bribe knowing its source. The jury will have to be swayed.
1 chance in a million brought you here, and there's an even chance that no one else will come. After all, who's interested in my life? Won't you please leave me alone?
Of course he will. It isn't any of our business. It isn't anybody's business except yours.
Leslie, you are not to interfere in my plans. Dr. Sanderson will go back for trial, and you two, you'll stay with that boat until you find the propeller. Clay, you and I will start with the catboat tomorrow morning. And Leslie, I'm going to build a signal fire. While we're gone, I shall expect you and Sanderson to keep it going night and day.
If you're going, you'll go by yourself.
I rather thought you'd prefer to stay here alone with Leslie.
I'm going to try and forget what you said just now. The complete injustice of it. Not only for me, but for Clay. I'm going to try and forget it because it wasn't really my Ram talking.
I have never been speaking nor thinking more clearly in my life. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I'd hope that my wife might help rather than hinder me.
I want to help you, Ram. In anything that's fine and decent and kind. But this isn't.
I'll be the judge of that.
I don't know what you want. We have enough money. You have a dignified, conservative law practice.
Which isn't enough. With or without you, and in spite of any obstacle that anybody can put in my path, I'm going to be the greatest criminal attorney since Clarence Darrow.
I wish you wouldn't wait in there.
Where's that catboat?
I don't know. I didn't know it was gone till just now. Please come out of that water, Mr. Ramsey.
I know one of you hid it someplace, but it can't be far. I'll find it.
Wait. Somewhere in that mud around here, there's an alligator. If you should stumble onto it or walk quickly in front of it, it'd be very dangerous.
I don't believe that either.
Look here, old man. You're not well. That crack on the head and this heat and this mosquitoes.
I'm all right.
I wish for your own sake and for Mrs. Ramsey's and for the others, you'd forget about this obsession of yours.
It's not an obsession. As an officer of the court, it's my moral obligation.
Very well. If the alligator cleans the lagoon out of fish, we can hold out for a few days. I'm sure they'll find the propeller soon. And
Yes. I know you'd all like to have the incident closed, but that's not my idea. You're going back with me, or we'll stay here until we starve.
you think Ram's really losing his mind?
You can't excuse him that way. He's saner than we are.
Well, I'm not trying to excuse him. It just seems so unlike him.
Now, look, Leslie. I've known him longer than you have. He's running true to form. The only difference is we're cast up on an island with him and can't get away. At least at college, I could walk out on him.
You shouldn't have hit him, Clay.
Yes, I know. Particularly with my open hand.
Please, Ram, you must be quiet. You've been very ill.
I'm not too sick to know what's going on. The boy hit that catboat. You don't want to get out of here. I know all about you and Foster. But you're going back with me, do you hear, Sanderson? You're going back with me.
What are you doing?
I'm going to make him quiet.
You don't think...
Breathing seems to be all right.
Oh, Clay, what are we going to do? This is like a nightmare. Bugs and heat. And Ram. We can't let him kill himself.
I'm not worried about that if he does it himself. I'm worried about you. He doesn't hear. I don't care anymore whether he does or not. Leslie, if they find the propeller, and I think they can, would you be willing to go with us and leave Ram here?
No, Clay.
No, I didn't think you would. And yet it would give Sanderson a chance to get away, and we could be back here with the Coast Guard in a few hours for Ram.
No. I married Ram, Clay, and right or wrong, I'm going to stand by him.
You'll be all right here alone?
I'll call you if I need
What little fish we get is all skin and bones.
No more than a lick and a plummet. That lady's going to look awful peaked.
Yeah, so am I. You'd like to tell about you and the doc and your Peppy now?
Well, I guess it's all right to tell you now. Well, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was no bigger than a kelpfish.
That's enough.
Hold it, Cap, hold it.
Oh, don't tell your grandmother how to suck eggs. Oh, God, Bolton, drop down and turn me loose. I don't want to lose me hook. teach you to cut a good line.
Propeller. Huh? Propeller.
Oh, blimey.
What goes on there? What's the matter with the boy? Why isn't he diving for that propeller?
He's just got through diving. He ain't no fish.
It's a very peculiar thing to me you can't find it. If I went down, I'd have it myself in 5 minutes.
You could go down for 5 years for all of me, mister.
I don't like your attitude, Lowell. You know, I could have your license taken away from me when I get back.
Oh, much obliged.
And I could have you sent to the reform school as a delinquent juvenile.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already graduated.
Now, Lowell, there's no reason for both of you to stay on the boat. The boy can continue diving, and I want you to keep the signal fire going.
I ain't no fireman. I stay on the boat.
Now, look here, Lowell. Let's be sensible about this thing. I want to get away from here. And as far as your friend is concerned, I assure you it's to Sanderson's own best interest that I take him away with me. Now, if you get that catboat back from wherever you've hidden it, or you find the propeller and put it back on, I'll give you each $100.
Have you got $100?
Right here in my wallet. I'll find that catboat if it's in the swamp, and I'll sail it out of here myself.
Some voyage.
Don't eat anything until I look at it. Some of these berries are quite poisonous.
What? Well, how long after you've eaten them do they take hold?
I hope you didn't eat any of those. How do you feel?
All right, until you mention it.
Well, I don't think anything serious will happen. Certainly not for 10 or 15 minutes.
Clay, I wonder where Ram is. I wonder if anything could have happened to him.
I hope so. Sloshing around in the swamp trying to find a catboat like a...
Oh, I wish he wouldn't. I wish there was something I could do to snap him out of his fixation. Doctor, isn't there something you can do to stop him?
Nothing can stop him, except a tragedy, perhaps another idea.
You know, it almost seems as though you'd known Ram before.
I've known hundreds of him in the learned professions, walking the streets, in prison, few in the asylum.
Oh, but you don't actually think that he...
Oh, well, who's to say where sanity ends and insanity begins? That's a borderline as imaginary as the equator.
He must have crossed it since we've left Key West.
Perhaps not. Obviously, he's what we call a schizophrene. Split personality. Well, if he's given his own way, he may make a brilliant success.
He kills everybody else doing it. That's all that's the matter with him, conceit, ambition.
Well, I can stand it. It's part of my job.
Stand still. Don't move.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Lowe?
Oh, I got it, yes.
And you tried to keep me quiet.
Keep right here, Doc. Don't move.
Well, hurry up. Throw some more wood on the fire. Yell. Wave your arms. Hello! Here we are!
You and Cap Lowe are making it awful hard for everybody here, Wiki.
I ain't gonna tell. Not if I have to die for it.
Don't let him break you down, Wiki.
Look here, Wiki. You like me?
Next to my pappy.
You know I'll always try to do what's right. That is the best I know how.
I ain't forgetting how you saved my life when that Murray yelled at me and everything you done for pappy, but...
Don't let it out, Wiki.
Well, I ain't gonna tell you where that propeller's hid.
These conks, bless their hearts, they're as hard as their shells. They won't talk. What am I going to do with them? Cap, you must realize this food situation. The gators stripped the lagoon, and there's nothing to eat in the garden.
Oh, strangely enough, I'm not the least bit hungry now.
Even that malnutrition goes through that stage. I'm ready to go back. It's the greatest happiness for the greatest number. You can't beat that for philosophy. Come on, Cap, work with me. Let's get that propeller on and get out of here. What do you say?
I say no.
Cap, I know you think you're holding out for me, but we're very close to starvation.
Oh, no, we ain't. There ain't no... But me and Wiki know where there's a sea bass the size of a horse under the coral. And we'll catch it, or I ain't no fisherman, he ain't no fisherman's son. Give me leave to try, Doc.
Couldn't start tonight anyway. I'll give you till tomorrow morning.
Am I intruding?
Ramsey, I'm glad you're here. We were just discussing the desperate situation in which you placed us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I can correct it. I've decided to withdraw from the case as your attorney. Yes, your friends have finally convinced me. I am rather disappointed because I'd looked forward to winning complete vindication for you. And perhaps some small fame for myself. But what I lose in prestige as your defender, I'm going to gain in personal pleasure. Sanderson, I'm going to send you to prison. And I'm going to prosecute you for assault and battery. They're chain gangs for white trash like you.
Don't you call no cunt?
And the boy is a juvenile delinquent, and his father for aiding and abetting a criminal.
Make mine wishful murder, will you?
I'm saving you. Saving you as correspondent in my suit for divorce. May I wish you both continued unhappiness, and may the scandal never die.
Don't worry. Wiki knows what to do.
Get 'em, rats, rats. Dig 'em up, dig 'em up. Rats. Ah, gee, that was a dirty trick, wasn't it, huh? There weren't no rats there at all.
Warren. Ram.
What do you want?
I want to make one last appeal. Not to your reason. Not to your ambition. But to your heart.
Well, that's quite a coincidence. I just made up my mind that you were going back with me. You see, at this point in my career, I can't afford to have it known that I have an unfaithful wife.
I have never been unfaithful to you in any way.
Well, then, let's say you've been merely disloyal. We'll start in the morning at high tide. In the meantime, I think you'll be more comfortable on the boat. Leslie? Come here. Quite sure you won't be more comfortable on the boat?
You sure that hook will hold him?
Oh, I'll worry about that after we get him.
The temptation's on me awful strong to eat this.
Say, I guess you didn't read the Bible about the loaves and fishes, did you? How the Lord got a lot of fish out of a small mouthful, and a lot of bread out of a little chunk no bigger than a biscuit?
Well, what do you think of that?
No, nothing like religious training for a fisherman.
Shouldn't a hook go through the fish's gills?
Say, what business are you in, Mr. Foster?
Oh, I wish I knew. I was in the electrical engineering business.
Hmm? Did any conch fisherman ever tell you how to run that?
I see what you mean. Say, do you think the fish would mind if I,
Say, if it runs to 100, leave me alone. If it runs to 200, Wiki, grab on. If it runs to 400, as I hope, you grab me and Wiki. If he keeps on like that, he'll have no more battery left than a rabbit. Cigar makers on the run, spongers, money. Cigar makers on the... Here comes There, we've nothing to worry about. Salt it down. This will last us until
we catch another.
Someday you're going to take the wrong words out of my mouth.
how we doing?
Oh, fine.
The cook wants more.
Not even lonesome for the missus anymore. Strange how whittles make you forget other things.
You better go inside and get something to eat before you fall down.
I'll take mine out here. Give me some of the fat. I'll give you one more chance, you thieving little hoodlum. Every time you lie, it means 180 more days in jail for your father. What did you do with that distributor head?
When you talk about my pappy, mister, mind your manners or watch your tone. Or I'll come your head with a boat hook.
Don't speak like that, Ricky. Hit him over the ear with a gaff.
I've done my professional duty.
Hello, Ram. I'll get you some...
No, thank you. I'm not hungry.
Oh, come on, Ram. It isn't too late to get back on Earth. Say, you know what that is?
I neither know nor care.
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the crushed leaf of the mullein plant, in which this island happily abounds. Dr. Sanderson, if you provide me with a small piece of paper, a paragraph from any dull book will do. I will roll myself a cigarette with the greatest substitute for tobacco ever known to man. First few drags taste exactly like the very best bad tobacco. Come on, Ram. Try one, huh?
I've given up smoking. I'm glad to see you folks so comfortable and contented. You're very wise. After all, there is really no hurry. A few hours or a few days won't make any difference now. We have food and you have each other. So, if you don't mind, I'll just go my own way.
Well, Ramsey, you're perfectly welcome to share and share alike with the rest of us.
That's very nice of you. But I'm going to be rather busy the next few hours. I have 3 objectives, all leading to the same result. I'll find that distributor head, where it has been hidden, or I'll find the catboat. In the meantime, we know the Coast Guard is searching for us, so I'll keep the fire burning night and day. So, you see, there's really no hurry. Good night.
Do you think he meant for true what he said about hurting my pappy?
Ah, that man's so mean he'd bite himself and not know it hurts. Now clean up here and come aboard to bed.
help. Something's happened.
Please go back, my dear.
Oh. I didn't go for to do it, Doc. I didn't mean it to happen that way. I just thought that nobody had bothered the distributor head if the old gator was around and...
Now, please stop worrying. I know that, Wiki, and the others know it. And what's more important, you know it. Hmm?